Blame follows the story of Max, a lone traveler in a desolate wasteland searching for fuel. Shit. Sorry, not Max. His name's Killy. He's not looking for gas. It's something called the net gene. Anyway, Killy and a group of survivors in the wasteland happen to run into each other, and they take him back to the gas refinery. Not refinery. Village. Village. Damn it. Outside of the village, marauders lie in wait of anyone who might dare step foot outside of the refinery. The plot continues, the villagers must leave the refinery and search out a new place to live. As the film concludes, Max leads the marauders away and allows the villagers to peacefully escape. Son of a bitch. I'm half joking, of course, but by the time Blame's credits roll, it'll be very difficult not to make comparisons to George Miller's 1981 masterpiece, The Road Warrior, as the basic premise and characters are all very similar. Now, I've only read the first volume of Blame's source material, so I'm taking the film as is since my knowledge of the source material is fairly limited. That being said, I very much enjoyed Blame, although it is certainly far from flawless. The biggest issue of this film is that our main-ish character, Killy, has just about as much personality as a fucking walnut. His whole character starts and ends with just a few lines of dialogue, and the only real conclusion the audience is able to draw by the end is, boy, he really wants that net gene, huh? This sort of lazy characterization also extends to the rest of the cast as well, as none of them really have any three-dimensional characteristics. The only character that didn't strike me as incredibly flat was Zuru, the obligatory cute anime girl in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, and that's because she had large breasts.
Please clap.
In all seriousness, she did have slightly more character than the rest of the cast, and by the end of the film seemed to genuinely care for Killy after starting the film as a little bit more suspicious of him. However, that's pretty much the extent of any characterization that Blame allows its characters to have. The film's plot is incredibly straightforward, so if you're looking for cyberpunk with a little more than surface-level depth, Blame will most likely not appeal to you quite as much as it goes for a more style-over-substance approach. This sort of approach does work for the movie, although by the end of it I couldn't help but feel like I wanted a little bit more. Partially because I enjoyed what I saw enough to want more, and partially because it just feels like the world of Blame has so much more to explore, and this film has just only scratched the surface of it. Back up to what I said about the plot. It's a very basic survival type story, harkening back to the likes of, well, The Road Warrior, obviously, and really only serves as a vessel to get the characters from one action scene to the next. Although, in that regard, throughout the film, there are really only 3 or 4 major action set pieces, which you think would be boring, but Blame actually manages to hold your attention really well through the use of exemplary visuals. You could probably already tell through the clips I've been playing, but Blame is entirely rendered in the horribly dreaded CGI. However, I couldn't find hardly anything to complain about when it came to the visuals. One thing that tends to be an issue with CGI anime is that the motions of the characters tend to seem kind of weightless, floaty, kind of disconnected from reality, but Blame doesn't really have that issue. I love what Polygon Pictures is doing for CGI in anime, and if this film is any indication of the quality of their future efforts, then I'll fully be on board with whatever it is they put out next. Fun fact about Polygon, they handled the animation production for Season 1, Episode 10 of Star Wars The Clone Wars, which is one of the best animated series ever aired on American TV. Don't even try to argue with me. Now, my one small gripe with the animation production is one scene in particular towards the end could have used a little bit better fight choreography in my humble opinion, but hey, it's a minor gripe. The best part of Blame's production hands down is the background art and the lighting, which is absolutely stunning at times. Apparently Tsutomu Nihei went to school for architecture before deciding to draw manga, and it certainly shows in pretty much everything he's ever done. Blame is a film best saved for a rainy day, when you don't have anything going on and you just kinda want to kick back and watch something fun. It doesn't require much brain power or effort, but once the credits roll, you'll be glad that you spent almost 2 hours of your time watching it. Does it have issues? Meh. It's certainly not perfect, but it will definitely scratch your cyberpunk itch if you happen to have that. Also, hopefully this movie is successful, because if an adaptation of Biomega gets greenlit, I will be a very happy dude. Do I recommend you watch Blame? Go for it.